All right, friends, we are going to start our project for the week, and it is going to be reviewing the elements of art. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a diagonal line that goes from the corner of my paper to the top of my paper. And I'm going to do the same thing from the top of my paper down to the corner of this paper. It's not exact, but you know what? That's pretty close. All right, straight down from that, I'm going to put a little dot here, right? And I am going to now make a straight line from this dot to the corner of this paper up at the top. And same thing on this side. I'm going to make a line that goes up, 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 and off the paper, right? If you need to straighten those lines out, you can. But remember, just try your best. Your best is good enough. And, you know, always draw light till you get it right. Okay? All right, so what it gave me are some triangle shapes and one big diamond shape. And what we're going to do is there actually should be, and you can count along with me, 7 of these shapes. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome. Hopefully you got 7 shapes too. And this is going to represent our 7 elements of art. Now, we are talking about the elements of art, so to make sure we don't confuse anybody, including ourselves, we're going to write elements of art in the middle of our diamond shape. So elements of art. And you know what? We're going to put that in a little cloud shape. Or if you want to put it in a heart shape, any kind of shape. I'm just going to kind of surround those words to give it some emphasis. All right, my friends. So when we first started the school year, the very first element we started talking about was line, right? And lines can go vertical, meaning they can go up and down, right? We talked about lines that can go horizontal, which are side to side, and they can even go diagonal, which is at an angle, right? Kind of like these lines here. We have lines that can be thick or thin. They can be curvy or they can be very straight. So what we're going to do is in this shape here, we're only going to stay inside this triangle shape we see and make some different types of lines. So let's get started. All right, friends. So we're going to move on to our second element of art, which is going to be shape. Now, these are our 2-dimensional shapes, which means they have height and width. They are flat like a pancake, and they're the simplest of shapes. So in this triangle shape, let's go ahead and get started. All right, for our next element of art, we are going to create texture. So remember, texture is the way something feels when you touch it. So here we go in this triangle shape here. All right, so we have a spiky texture, a bumpy texture, and a scaly texture. Okay, for the next one, we're going to be working with value. And remember, value is the lightness or darkness of a color. So here we go in this shape here. All right, friends, so I did with pencil a dark to light, and then I added the color purple and also did dark to light, and I used my black crayon on top and even my white crayon on top to give it that dark to light look. All right, next what we're going to be working on is form. So remember, form are three-dimensional shapes. So cones and spheres and cylinders. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, kiddos. The next one we're going to talk about is space. And space is the way in which you can fill a paper. It can be creating a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. It can also be how you can make things appear smaller as they're going into the distance. So we're going to work on that one in this shape here. All right, kiddos, so for the last one, we are going to be filling this last shape up with the element of art color. And we want to make sure that we have 6 spaces that we can create within this diamond shape. We're going to kind of go around our word element of art too. So we're going to make sure that we have our 3 most important colors, which are going to be the primary colors. There's 3 of them. So let's create a space for 3 colors there. So we're going to space them out like this. Okay, so right here, this is going to be a space for our primary color yellow. Okay, our next space is going to be for our primary blue. Our last primary color on our color wheel is going to be red. Okay, so those are our primary colors, but we left space between each primary color so that we could add our secondary color. Because we want to know what happens when you mix yellow and blue together. When those 2 colors come together, do you remember what color they make? If you said green, you're correct. All right, so green is one of our secondary colors. Let's figure out what we make for our second secondary color. So what do you think? What do you remember about the red and blue when they come together? What color do they make? If you said purple, you're correct. Do you remember another name for purple? If you said violet, you are also correct. All right, boys and girls, we have one more secondary color, and it's going to be what happens when you mix yellow and red together. Do you remember what color it makes? If you said orange, you're correct. All right, boys and girls, so that completed our last element of art, color. So now what I'm going to do is add color to the rest of this picture, Maybe you can use my Sharpie to add some details to some of the areas to make it kind of pop. So if this is a good time for you to do that as well, go ahead and join me.